Welcome everyone to another episode of The Asylum with Harley and Joker. I'm your host Harley, as always, joined by Joker himself.
That's right. King Joker is here as always as the Dilf of the Century to freaking amuse you and make you entertained.
And tonight we have Mr. Michael Colby joining us,
What's up, everyone?
and also White Mamba himself.
Yo, how's it going?
Okay, guys, tonight is our Father's Day episode, which will air again on Father's Day. We will not be live on Father's Day. So I'm going to put my content warning up just so everyone knows. Okay, and tonight's episode is Bad Dads. Only right, because we did one on Bad Mothers. So now we have to do our Bad Dads.
Gotta keep it fair, you know?
Exactly. Okay, tonight we are going to have Joker himself start us off.
Mhm.
And he's going to explain to us why he picked what he picked and who he picked. Okay, here's your first one.
Yeah, if you want Bad Dad, this right here is it. I can never remember his fucking name for anything. Oh, wait a minute. Is his
Luther
name?
McDonald.
Yeah, Luther. Yeah. Yeah, Mac's dad on Always Sunny. The example of a bad dad. Like, he just fucking in and out of prison all his son's childhood. His son, Mac, is always looking for his attention, always looking for his love, and he just never gives it. Like, he's just a horrible human being, and Mac even invites him to a special show that he puts on to tell him he's gay, and he just gets pissed and walks out. Like, it's just like he doesn't care about his son at all because his son's not who he was.
Wow. I just started watching that, so I'm not even close to that yet. Anyone have any comments on that?
No, that's pretty accurate, I would say.
Okay, here's your next one.
Okay, this might be the worst father on my list, honestly. Percy Spencer, father to Kevin Spencer, and basically he only has a son because he met a girl at a clown at a rodeo in Canada, and basically hooked up with her, and that's the only reason they have a son. Him and his wife are both drug-addled alcoholics, and they don't give a shit about their son. Their son has been in and out of prison his whole teenage years and everything, and does every drug known to man because he's just like them. They did a whole episodes about like them leaving him locked in the bedroom like when he was a kid all the time. So now he sees an imaginary goose that he talks to all the time and gives him bad ideas. Like, it's just whack. It's a Canadian cartoon that's like South Park in Canada, basically.
Yeah, when you shared it, I didn't even know who it was. I'm like, okay, am I picking the right one? Okay,
Yeah,
hello, Chris. Thank you for joining us.
Can I
I found it.
Comment
Go ahead.
on Luther, back on Luther McDonald?
Yeah.
The guy asked his son and his friend to smuggle drugs up their anus and bring them back full. I mean, then when Luther gets out of prison, they're trying to get them together, and it's like supposed to be happy times and everything, and they get Charlie's family and Matt's family, and he goes, "Hey, Charlie," or Matt goes, "Hey, mom or dad, doesn't mom look great? Or doesn't dad look great?" And she goes, "No." I was like, it's horrible. Like, he actually might be, when you said Luther and I came up with the other one, I was like, that actually might be the worst dad to me. But I mean, there's still quite a few. But that's my take on that.
Yeah, I mean, and if you haven't seen Kevin Spencer, last I checked, all the episodes are free on YouTube. They're freaking, it's hilarious. It's my White Mamba, you would freaking love it. I know you, knowing you would love it.
Okay, moving on to your next one.
Drew fucking Pickles. Yep. Always the egotistical, typical narcissistic father who only cares about himself and just basically buys his daughter whatever she wants to keep her occupied and busy. He doesn't care about his daughter. He always has to put his little projects first. I mean, yeah, his wife is no fucking prize either. So, I mean, that's a lot to deal with.
They're
but
both
still.
horrible parents altogether.
And that's why Angelica's a horrible person, because of how they act. Which actually, on all grown up, she does become a little bit better person. But that's thanks to her chubby friend.
I mean, the story, like that whole myth behind it, like that, where they're saying the urban legend or whatever it is, where Angelica is just imagining them and all that. It's kind of creepy if you think
Oh,
about it.
it's creepy as fucking shit. It really is. I love that theory though. Makes sense.
Okay, your next one is Bing Crosby.
Dun-dun-dun. Oh, the king of beating your children. There's been so many pop culture references to it too, because since it all came out, since he's been dead for a while now, but he would beat the shit out of his own real life children. So I mean, yeah, I had to bring in one of the worst fathers in human history. Like he was not a good man. He's not who he played on any movie or TV show. You're allowed to argue, Colby.
Yeah, that's
I have no idea. I also thought that this was a fictional dad's thing.
that's why I
Cosby.
picked most of mine.
He's an actor. I had to pick him. And I read. You guys took all the good ones.
Jerry Stiller.
Well, get your shit in earlier.
I am a busy man, but
Your next one.
yeah.
And you know his character on King and Queens, he played
so
just as
good.
bad of a dad
Mhm.
on that show as he did on this one.
Yeah, as playing the fuck was his name in the
Arthur.
Arthur? Okay, that's what I was thinking. Like, wait a minute, his name was Arthur on both shows. I didn't think that was right, but
No. He's Frank.
oh, Frank Costanza. Yeah, Frank Costanza. Yeah, everything he does he's the reason that George is the way he is. He's 100% the reason. Constantly just yelling at him for everything he does. The whole making him do all these stupid jobs they doesn't want to do just because he thinks they'll make yeah what was it, the mail bra, whatever the hell it was called.
You got the A, the B, the C, and the D. That's the biggest.
And I mean the selling computers out of the garage thing with his mentally unstable like freaking childhood friend. Like it's just, oh my god, it's everything he does is just horrible. Everybody's life that he revolves around is just fucking worse because of it.
Festivus
I mean,
is great.
Both of his characters are like he played. It's the exact same character,
Yeah.
the way he acts, and he's just as horrible on King of Queens as he is on Seinfeld.
Mm. Ooh. Fucking Mr. Bataki. What the hell is his first name? I just lost. Oh, Big Bob Bataki. Yeah, Big Bob Bataki. I mean, once again, it seems to be a Nickelodeon thing where like the wife is no better than the husband. But I mean, he is just horrible. He is a horrible human being who only cares about his business. He doesn't care about his daughter really. He cares about his older daughter, but he doesn't care about his younger daughter at all. She's nothing to him. I mean, I have a feeling she was a mistake, and that's why he doesn't care. But or I don't know, maybe the mom did cheat, don't know. But I mean, he just does not care, and he treats her like shit. Like the episodes
That's why
about like her.
Helga's so mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, it always shows when the kids act certain ways what the parents are doing. But I mean, the fact that like they even show episodes when they were little kids and like Helga having to like get to school herself because he didn't care and because her mom was too drunk. Like it's just sad. The things you don't
Your
see in
next
Nickelodeon
one-
shows when you're a kid. Jesus Christ.
See how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you've got 2 more. Here we go.
Nigel Thornberry. I mean,
I
mean,
didn't really see him as being a bad
No.
dad, though.
I mean, okay.
He's just crazy out of his head.
I mean, he's not the worst father out of this bunch by far. I mean, at least he cares about his kids and tries to teach them things. But he also is very self-involved and narcissistic in a way because he just tends to go off on his own adventures and like, your daughter's running around getting chased by lions, has a Komodo dragon hunting her down, like, but you're nowhere to be fucking seen. And anytime she tries to tell you about something, you just always miss it and don't give a shit. Like, so, it's always, oh, I had to go photograph this rare bird. Like, no, it's just sad. Like, it's just, he's not the worst father by far. At least he cares for his kids. At the end of the day, he'll wonder where the hell his kids are, but he's just not a great father. I mean,
Okay, I'm trying to fix the
yeah, you got two.
exclamation points up top.
You got two out of three, and that ain't bad.
Like that. There we go.
Sweet.
Okay, your next one. Your next one, I completely agree with it.
Well, everybody should fucking agree with it. I don't even remember his first name even, but
Don Cheadle.
no, no, it's not. But yeah, Big Willie's
Will
father on
Smith's
Fresh Prince.
father.
Yeah, Will Smith's father on Fresh Prince. Fucking worst dad in the world. Like it's a subplot for the whole show that's the reason why Will feels he needs to be the best at everything is because he never had a father to show up for anything. And when he does show up, he fucking just ends up ditching his son instead, taking him with him like he was planning, like he originally told me he would. Like, and it's one of the greatest moments in TV history, that fucking episode. But like,
That episode was horrible.
it was horrible, but it also was one of the best moments ever because that was real emotions. Oof. Yeah, oh God. Jack Fenton. Yeah, I mean, again, just like Nigel, not one of the worst fathers on here by far, but he also was very self-absorbed and only cared about his ghost hunting. He ignored his son constantly when he was trying to tell him about his issues. Like Danny would actually be trying to tell him about his issues, and he would just think he saw a ghost all of a sudden and run off. Like it's just typical bad father, typical bad father on Nickelodeon cartoons.
I think you just picked a bunch of shows that you know I didn't watch so that I couldn't argue with you.
Well, we picked all the good ones because he took so long to get his in. Okay.
I kept forgetting about it.
Your last one.
Yeah, I forget his first name, but first, Ferguson's father. Christopher Ferguson's father on, of course, explains it all. But mainly I put him in here because he's a bad dad because he lets his teenage daughter have a boy go through a ladder to her window and he has to know about it and he doesn't care. Like how you not hear a ladder slamming against your house in the middle of the day. Like he has to know about it, but he's just letting his daughter most likely get knocked up constantly. So, it's just it is what it is. I had to think of something for the last one. I was like, you know what? That's not okay. That's not okay. I mean, not the worst father by any means, but just ignorant. Ignorant to paying attention to shit.
Okay, so we are moving on to ones that we actually do know. Okay, I think, Mike, you picked Jerry Smith from Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. It's yours.
Jerry is just kind of I wouldn't say wimp, but yeah, he is wimp, and he just kind of, he doesn't seem to give a crap. He's kind of not non-confident. I mean, his son is going on these like adventures, different things, and just kind of like barely hanging in there. I mean, to me, I think he's not a great father. He's not like one of the things, even like in some of Jeremy's stuff, he's not the worst, but I think he's not around enough to actually know what's going on. And doesn't.
He tries a lot, and he's in a bad situation though. I mean, he's definitely a cuck in a fucking marriage that he shouldn't even be in.
For sure.
And his house is run by his fucking father-in-law, who's a genius, and who can fucking literally just shoot him with different rays to make him forget shit.
And
like it's
that guy.
I mean, but it's just he's in a bad living situation. He hates his job originally, and then he goes on half these adventures with Rick and Morty. He doesn't remember it even when he gets home. Like he forgets about it the next day. Like the whole fucking fake Aquaman thing. Like that's the only one he really remembers, even because that was like on Earth. But it's just, it's not. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's the best father in the world, but he definitely is nowhere near the worst. Far from the worst.
Colby's sitting there looking all bored.
I know you know Rick and Morty.
I gave up on Rick and Morty like half a season into it. It's just too annoying.
I didn't watch any of it.
The first two seasons are so good. Now the voice actors changed now, and that made it kind of but it's still good.
Okay, your next one is Ted Mosby.
Yeah, I'm dying to hear this one because how the fuck is he a bad father?
Because he sits there and explains his whole
It's
like.
just, he's annoying. Like, to me, I think it's just not like a bad. You know, a lot of these, like some of the stuff, especially with Colby's stuff. I agree with about half of his. So I was coming up with some of my own, some of the others. So I was coming up with some, and I just thought the guy literally takes like forever to tell a freaking story to his kids, and then he's like, "Hell yeah, your mom died." I mean, I know they already know that, but it's like, come on, like it's, I don't know, like the show
I don't.
itself isn't the
You,
worst, but it's
you're for dude. It's the beginning. It's the opening clip to a show. Like he could have
It's
told the
funny.
story in two. He could have
I
He could have
just
told the
started,
story in 2 hours, and like they just took clips of it.
like
and the funny part, I
honestly,
just started
you
rewatching
can
this.
throw it out because he's like the main part of it isn't even him being a dad, so that one's kind of a throwaway, and I'll admit that.
Okay, your next one is John Redcorn.
Yeah.
Everyone knows why he's a bad dad.
Well, yeah, because
He's not though. He tries to get into Joseph's life constantly. He
but
wants
he
to be part of
doesn't
his life.
say anything to like if he were a good person or even an honest person, he would say something. Even I know there's episodes where he almost tells Dale, and that would ruin things. But at the same time, he plays a dad in the distance, just watching some other guy raise his
Because
kids.
he can't do anything about it because
He could.
the piece of ass he likes and loves having doesn't want him to say it, and he respects her wish. Like I
I
mean,
mean, Dale
I
is
wish
so stupid because he's like, "Why is my kid Native American?" And he doesn't understand. And then at one point, he thinks he's from aliens, but
classic
he
He
classic
knows.
episode.
but he
He
also is
he
like,
knows he's in
"I'm gonna go
denial about
bang
it
this guy's wife, which is the mother of my child, and climb in through the window,
Yeah.
and then still
Okay,
not
hold
say
on.
anything."
Chris Neely, yes, he is a dad because he can't say he's a dad.
and he's tried on multiple occasions. He's tried to tell Joseph. He's tried to show Joseph on multiple
But he
occasions that
never
he
did. Like if
and
he
the
were that
and I
guy,
mean
like if that's my daughter, I'd be like, "Hey, I need you to know that I'm your dad and I want to be there." Instead of, I'm gonna go hook up with your mom through the window and say I'm a massage therapist, and
but
yeah,
it's a sticky situation, and I
it
mean
is.
and plus I feel like he thinks Hank would kick the shit out of him if he actually told him. But it's
I don't know. He's
also
kind of ripped.
I I feel like everybody knows. I feel like Joseph knows. I feel like Dale knows. I feel like they all just are in denial about
Peggy
it and they're
gets to
not
know for
talking
the
about it.
longest time, which I think is hilarious.
Okay, well
Like,
Peggy's a narcissist who's only involved in herself. She doesn't know shit.
that's true.
She should be on the worst moms list.
That would be my number one, honestly, probably.
Who is his child? Have you not watched King of the Hill?
Apparently not. He hasn't.
I mean,
Joseph's his child. We just said it like
Joseph's
5
his
times.
child.
It's just like him.
Did you wonder
I
how
mean,
Dale and
Dale's
Nancy?
white and Nancy's
Yeah, I know.
white and
I
Joseph's.
mean,
Even Peggy says Dale is too sweet because he's just like he's so, and Dale could be, honestly, he maybe not be the greatest father, but he could be up there for one of the best fathers. It just
he tries.
he's so oblivious but he still takes care of him, and
I don't think he's oblivious. I think he knows and he just doesn't
there's theories with
mind.
that, and I think you could be right with that because there are where he's said things where it's like it's
He knows.
almost intended or implied, but it's like he's playing dumb.
He knows, but he loves his neighborhood, he loves his family, and he doesn't want to ruin any of it by like opening that can of worms.
It's almost like he's rubbing it in John Redcorn's face or something.
He got maybe that's actually an interesting theory. Maybe he is like he would like he's that type of guy, but I mean he's too naive and nice like acting for people to see it. But I could definitely see that shit happening. That'd be funny if on the continuation of it they're doing if they actually go into that.
I can't wait for the even though he
I know.
he passed away. So he has a YouTube channel by himself, and it was like Rusty Shackelford, and it shows him playing like Beatles songs and different things on the piano, and he's dressed up as Dale Gribble and Johnny Hardwick, and he's just such a great person. It just sucks that he's not going to be part of the whole series because he passed away.
Okay, your next one. Okay. This next one, he plays like good dads on TV, but
Yeah.
outside of TV, he's really not a good person at
Oh
all.
God. Trying to think who the fuck this is. Like, I'm not recognizing it.
He played the dad on Seventh Heaven and
Oh, I
Bruce
never watched that.
Mathis. He was in Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, he plays the
he's their real
oh,
dad, and what
yeah,
gets me the most is the episode with him, knowing that he's like a pedo, and then when he's in the actual episode, he tries to marry. I know it's like trying to get back at them, but he's trying to marry his daughter and Seamus, which is Frank Reynolds, and then when he's in the room with them saying, well, I don't want to give the money to you unless I can see you make love. So he's literally willing to watch his daughter make love to this other guy, which is disgusting to me. It's gross. And then when at the end of it, it's like, congratulations, you just married your daughter to Frank. I mean, he was with it the whole time. It's like, joke's on you, but really the joke was on him because it was like, who the hell would go through and be like, hey, I really want to watch you at your most intimate level. It's disgusting.
it's some of
Ex-
Always Sunny's episodes push to that envelope a lot, but
Especially after knowing his story outside of his career, it just. Mm-mm.
He
Okay.
deserves Rotten Hill.
Your next
Rotten Hill,
one.
yeah, let's go.
This
I
man
I
was a
agree.
horrible father.
I agree. No, he was a good father to his second son.
He's a good grandfather. He named his kid Good Hank.
Yep, GH. Which it's funny because I when we didn't know what we were having, and like I said to my wife that we have a boy, we're gonna name him GJ, Good Jeremy, because my son's name is Jeremy.
Hank's wife? Like, he never refers to Peggy as Hank's, or as actually Peggy. I think maybe once or twice, but it's mainly Hank's wife. And he's like, "Good God, Hank, you got a fat neck." Like, he 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 bullshits on his son so much. When Hank had the narrow urethra problem with his butt, he's doing the lawnmower racing, and he got those. Are those fake boobies? And he's got those things for like for his butt to help him sit on the lawnmower.
Yeah,
And it's
the
like
implants. Yeah,
he he treats his son so crappy because he's so like I think he's just so ashamed of him, even though Hank's a great person, like not great, but like he has a family, he has a house, he's established himself as a father, and he still craps on him. And I don't just because
because
but
it's making up for him having no shins. That's what it is.
I got no shins.
Okay, your next one.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I agree with this one 100 fucking percent. I love when Quagmire goes off on him in that one episode, and in the middle of his reign, he's like, "And how's your son? You know, the son that you had for a week and then just forgot about." Like it's just it's classic. Like
I mean, he goes to the door. He's like, Dylan, and he's trying to make an halfway effort with them. And then the lady comes and she's like, Brian, is that you? And it's like, oh, he's like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to be a part of this, even though like that's his son. I mean, he's just Brian is hilarious, but he's a piece of shit. I mean, he really is. And
oh,
like it just he tries with this Dylan for a little bit, and then he just kind of like nope, and that's not. I guess it's probably part of like not having him on the show anymore. Like they kind of just wanted to keep going with it, but it's like the nature of Brian. There was an episode of like where he's going to save a woman in the car, and she's like, "Hold on, let me unstrap my baby," and he's like, "Oh no, it's slipping." Like he's such a horrible person, but like when it comes to a dad, I mean, he doesn't give a crap, and that was kind of one of my throw-ins there. But it was a short time lived for him being a dad, but he's horrible.
It's funny as hell, the whole Quagmire, when he asks Quagmire, "Why don't you like me?" and like he goes off in like 5 minutes about, and he's 100% right about everything he fucking says to him. It's the fucking best scene ever.
I love it when he bangs Quagmire's dad, and Quagmire runs in and beats the crap out of him, and he's like, "I effed your dad," and it's like that's the end of it. You know, I was like, that's pretty good, but I mean, just so he is a funny character, but I don't know. It just he's definitely, and the fact of being a dog, being a human's dad is just so. It just doesn't make sense.
Okay, your next one.
Oh yes.
This I don't really understand. I don't think he was a dad.
Okay, this is one of mine that I just thought of because some of the stuff was taken, and so there's one episode. They have a clan. It's SpongeBob and Patrick. SpongeBob is like the mom. Patrick is the dad because he's got the hair, everything. He's like, so Patrick's gonna go to work even though Patrick doesn't even have a job. SpongeBob does. So SpongeBob takes care of the baby clam that they found, and Patrick just leaves, and he keeps coming home, and he does nothing to help out SpongeBob, which is still just a weird thing when people are, they're going by with the clam, and they're thinking sponge plus, starfish equals what? Like clam? So, but he keeps promising he's gonna take care of the baby, keeps taking care of the baby, and he's like that guy that just comes home and he goes, "I need to go sit in my chair," and he's watching TV, has nothing to do with helping out with the kids, and then he goes to leave and he's like, "Hey, I will be there at 6:00 for sure," and then he comes home with a lampshade on his head saying, "Oh, that was a fun party," even though he was spending the whole time in his house right next door in his rock. And that one's one that I was just like, I thought of some of my favorite shows, and I thought of like me and Olivia, my daughter, have been watching SpongeBob a lot, and it just showed to me that like he's just the one time he tried being a dad, it was horrible. Like he's not have it.
Patrick's lucky he's intelligent enough to fucking breathe, let alone have a kid.
Yeah.
It's unusual to see Michael Colby this quiet.
Man, I got some shit going on.
Right.
And also these dads are kind of weak choices for bad dads.
Okay, this is we do have some that are multiple pick, like I picked them and then you guys picked them, so they're at the bottom. So we'll all explain
some of the stuff that people didn't have. Mr. Krabs. Colby, I wanted to explain this one, and I've been waiting for a while.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one too, because I don't understand how he's a bad dad.
The guy's cheap as crap. There's one episode where he's like, "Oh, these batteries still work." It's when he's like a robot. They think he's a robot. In the Krusty Krab, he's like, "Oh, these batteries still have a little bit of juice in them. I can give that to Pearl for her birthday." And then there's another episode where she wants these like fancy boots, and I understand she's being a little overzealous about having these like slippers.
But on that same aspect, anytime she wants money or something or anything like that, he's usually right there to give it to her. Or for her birthday parties, he's always going all and out for her. Like he goes above and beyond for her.
He bought Boys That Cry for her one birthday party. So I don't want to hear about how he's cheap.
And he's and plus
boots on sale.
She's a whale. He's a crab. Think about it.
He's not even his daughter, I don't think.
He
still takes care of her.
He adopted her. There was an image on Facebook like 5-6 years ago of him like finding a whale that got poached or got hit by a boat, and like seeing the baby and like just picking it up and saying, "I'll take care of you," like that. That was supposed to be like his origin story.
There's also theories of why his wife isn't there. So
Yeah, she died in childbirth, pushing out the well.
there's theories that he killed her. So we don't know.
I mean,
Fan
he's cheap.
theories can't count because fan theories are always bullshit.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that was
Well, I mean, he obviously adopted her. She's a fucking whale.
Kobe's already got my favorite one anyway, so it's all good.
It's probably one of the ones that are all three of us picked.
No.
Okay, and here's your last one.
I mean,
Yeah. So
He's a-
I will say this one's a little
Yeah.
weak, but it's more of
All the other ones were picked good already.
I don't know. I didn't have a lot of options. I told you. I was like, I honestly want to pick like half of the same ones they have. But the fact that he's just like, hey, so as being a dad can be being to a granddad, like he's basically saying, hey, I'm going to take your kid and we're going to go do these crazy things and basically endanger his life. And I'm going to be drunk the whole time.
I mean, he was also a bad dad. Like to Beth, he was a
Yeah.
horrible father. Like, yeah, he created her own private pocket dimension because he didn't want to spend time with her. So he gave her a pocket dimension so she had something to do. Like and it's not even. I mean, I'm not even sure if it's his Beth or not because there's been so many storylines where like he went to different timelines and like the Morty in that timeline, the Rick in that timeline was dead, so he just took the place of it. Like they've done that a couple times now. And it's just like I don't even know anymore. I mean, and he's just not a good father. Like whenever she tries to like go to him about something, he brushes her off and pats her on the back and moves the fuck on.
He
Like
doesn't. He turns himself into Pickle Rick so he won't go to therapy, which is such a overdone. You know, everybody knows that episode and stuff. But
I'm Pickle Rick, bitch.
I mean, I laughed when he, got all the gadgets on. He turned into like a mouse with a freaking gun. But the fact is, it's like he didn't want to face anything because it was all about himself. I guess he's just, and he's very narcissistic. He cared about himself. That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to bring Morty along with him and leave everything out. Just like he cared about him, but at the same time he cared about his family. He was a douche to Jerry. Some of it's kind of okay, I guess, because yeah, he wanted his daughter to be with a strong man, but at the same time, he was basically just living in their place and doing whatever he wanted to do, and she let it happen, and
I mean,
it's gonna keep going on and on.
but there's also thousands of him, so
That's true.
I mean, he's kind of stuck in a loop because that's what. I mean, he's the best Rick of all the Ricks because he's not a fucking douchebag like the rest of them. Like he actually tries to do things that are right once in a while.
Thousands of him and thousands of Morty.
I think I'm falling asleep here. Okay, let's move on. Now it's Michael Colby's time.
I agree with this one 100%. I was so happy he put this on his list.
Rusty Venture. Everybody's talking about, people who don't worry about their kids and just go on their own adventures. But Rusty Venture goes on the most dangerous adventures out of all of them and just like takes the kids along with him. Doesn't care about what they're doing when they're there. Basically keeps them under the care of Brock. And he's just not a good dad. He's a neglectful father.
He created clones of his children so that if they die, he could just have their clones come to life.
Yeah.
Like until the clone army in like season 2 or 3 got annihilated fighting the Monarch's army. Like he had clones of his kids, and then after that, like he actually started giving a shit if they die. But before that, he didn't even care if they died because it was just it was ridiculous. Like he's such a bad dad. Like he should never have been a father.
Yeah, just as far as the not caring about his kids while he goes on adventures dads go, I think he's the worst one.
Okay, your next one.
Yeah.
Yep, I 100% agree with this one too. Michael Colby's list was like, God damn, there was all my ideas.
Actually, that was one of mine.
I for some reason am blanking on his first name.
George Bluth.
George Bluth. Yeah, just like sold his whole family out for money. Is a total huckster, gets sent to prison, and really just he ends up liking it in prison, and he doesn't want to leave, so he just lets his family hang out to dry, living in the model home in their failed like housing community, because he just doesn't care. And then he has money stashed in the banana stand and doesn't really tell anybody about it. So then when they burn it down, then all of that money's gone.
Wow.
Well, he does hint at it a lot.
He hints at it. He says there's always money in the banana stand.
Which, I mean, if they actually took it literal, they would have fucking realized that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he literally tried to whore his daughter out in order to make a deal and get money. So yeah, I mean, he is a horrible father. He really is. I mean, Lucille Bluth is no fucking better of a mother, but still,
No.
like, he's a horrible father. Like, those kids are just fucked for life because of their parents.
Yeah.
But it makes a good show, so
Let's go.
Oh God.
Frank Reynolds.
Yeah, I just wanted to, and I think you were right. I don't think he's the worst father on It's Always Sunny, but he's also the one that's on there the most, and he's also played by Danny DeVito, so you want to talk about him.
He's also I mean, he hangs out with his kids on like a daily fucking basis, or at least they're friends, if not them. I mean, him and Charlie are kind of best buddies, but still, it's I don't know. He can be a good father, but he also can be a shitty father. Like, he has sold, like, he's like taken out like bets and insurances on like what Dee and Des do, and like fucking cashed out on it. He doesn't. He still like works for his company and has a lot of money, but like doesn't tell them that. Like, he just acts like he's a poor bum. Like, it's just, he's a bad person in general.
Yeah, just because he hangs out with his kids and spends time with them, he's doing shitty stuff that whole time. So, just spending time with him doesn't make him any better. It actually could make him worse. At least the other bad dads are like staying away and keeping their bullshit to themselves. But Frank's involving his kids in his bullshit.
At Christmas time, he gets a purse that Dee would want, like a really fancy purse, and fills it with cheese balls. And then he rents or buys a Lamborghini that Dennis wanted, and he just laughs in their face about it. Like, it was just like, you can't have this, even though I have it.
He's a douche to be a douche. Like, that's his thing.
He's hilarious, though.
Oh, he is.
Great character, bad dad.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
How is he a father even? He's not really a father. I mean, he is, but like, Anakin Skywalker technically is dead when his children are born. He's not Anakin Skywalker anymore.
He's still Anakin Skywalker, because at the end, once they kill Palpatine, he turns back into Anakin. He's Anakin then afterwards. So that means he's been Anakin all along, which means that he, just completely neglected his kids, let somebody else raise them, and then tries to bring his son over to the dark side. And,
Well,
you know, and then he does one last thing to try to redeem himself. And, you know, I guess that worked, but that doesn't make him any better of a dad.
Right.
I mean, he also, if you watch Revenge of the Sith, he doesn't know his kids are alive. Like Emperor makes him believe that Padme died during childbirth and that the kids didn't make it. So I mean, and they hide it from him because they don't want him to find out he has kids. So I mean,
But
it's
then
just,
you would have to watch Revenge of the Sith, and nobody wants to do that.
But that's still his
Watch-
real name, though. Even if you go to Darth Vader, that's his real name. So
no, because they say it right in the first Star Wars ever. I knew your father during the Clone Wars. He was killed by Darth Vader, which is basically them saying he killed himself and became a person.
Nah. He's just trying to. You know what makes really good podcasting? When you eat and burp throughout the whole thing. It's always great to hear. It's always great to hear in your ears when somebody's eating and burping throughout a whole hour-long podcast, Jeremy.
Who burped? I didn't burp.
You've been burping all day. Rick Sanchez. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah, Anakin Skywalker's a bad dad.
Your next one.
Oh, my next one is another one that I can't remember the name of.
Harry Wormwood.
Harry
From
Wormwood
Matilda.
from Matilda.
Yeah.
God, he was a bad dad.
I mean, he was a bad dad. He to Matilda especially, but even to their son, like just the opposite way. Like he's like neglectful and like downright mean to Matilda, and then they like heap all the praise and like spoil the boy, and it's just like a bad dad two ways. But how they treat Matilda is unforgivable.
They treat her so bad.
He's not even like his dad.
I mean, but the funny thing about that shit is that, like her mother was like the actress who played Matilda, like mother was sick behind the scenes, and like Danny DeVito like made sure she had everything she needed. Danny DeVito made sure she was set. Like it's just like the ironicness that he really was like playing that role as a horrible person, but he was just doing such a good thing in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not saying Danny DeVito is a horrible person because he's far from it. But some of the roles he picks or gets put in,
because he knows what he looks like. Like he looks like a
salad. It looks like
covered in ranch.
No, fried fish.
It looked like a salad.
There's not one green thing on this fucking plate.
It looks green.
No, it's fried eggplant and fried fish.
Okey-dokey.
an hour-long podcast. Ay.
I agree with this
Your
one too.
next one.
I was pissed it got taken.
Ego. I hate to put Kurt Russell on this list because I love Kurt Russell.
Me too.
But man, as Ego the Living Planet, father of Star-Lord, gives his mother brain cancer to kill her, and kind of makes Star-Lord's entire life a living hell, just like from what he does to his mother, and then like trying to get him after 35 years or however old Star-Lord is, like trying to get him to join him like Darth Vader, but like killing the mother and not even doing it slowly, like giving her brain cancer and letting her just like waste away.
That's horrible.
While he's like there the whole time. It's just so bad.
And the fact that on that living planet that is him, they find a whole cavern of fucking dead children that he tried to do the same thing with. Like, he basically mated with someone on every planet he went to where he left his flower, and he fucking like literally left a seed, and he killed them all because they didn't want to be like him.
Yeah. Bad stuff. Bad dad. Bad dad is a living planet. A living planet makes a bad dad, apparently.
I mean, in the comic books, he was only ever a planet. He was never actually a person. But
Yeah. But in the movies, he's Kurt Russell. So at least he's nice to look at.
Okay, your next one.
My next one is Daniel Plainview. One of my favorite movies of all time. There Will Be Blood. Is overprotective of his son, but it's also never about his son. It's always about him. And then like his son doesn't grow up to be what he wants him to be, so he cuts him out of the family fortune, basically just abandons him, won't sell, I forget exactly what happens at the end, but like he won't give him the rights to some land, even though he's not doing anything with it, just to be spiteful. Yeah, just a bad dad. Again, not, when he's a kid, he's overprotective of him, but it's never about him. It's always about Daniel. Yeah.
Which I never seen that movie, so I can't comment. But
It's a fucking great movie.
I've heard of it, but
Okay, your next one.
All right. Now we're into the shit. Leland
The
Palmer.
guy looks crazy.
Leland Palmer from the greatest show ever to be put on television, Twin Peaks. Leland, not a bad dad from the beginning, but he gets spoilers for Twin Peaks if you haven't watched a 25-year-old show.
I haven't. But
Leland gets possessed by a entity that's just called Bob, and ends up killing his own daughter. The whole mystery of Twin Peaks is who killed Laura Palmer, and it was her own father. And because he's sort of possessed by Bob, he's sort of delighting in it. And then he ends up dying right after he confesses that he was the one who did it. And he never really has a chance to make up, for what he did. And just, man, sort of tragic, but also, if you kill your own kid, you get on the bad dad list.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Looking at you, Casey Anthony.
How was your salad?
I didn't toss it yet, but I'll do that later tonight.
Gross.
Wow.
Wow.
There's one of our famous Jeremy jokes. Joke
Okay.
in big air quotes.
You love it.
Okay, so it's my time now. And we have some at the end that are all three of us mixed. And I think Jeremy might agree with some of the ones at the end because we all picked them. Okay, my first one is Frank Gallagher.
Yeah.
Well, Frank Gallagher was always trying to figure out where he's going to get his next eye from. And he was always drunk. And his drugs and alcohol came before the kids did. Always.
Yep.
And his children raised each other.
Basically, he is the prime example of a bad dad. which is why I knew he'd get picked before I ever got a listing.
Okay, and then I got Jack Torrance. Well, okay, let's see. He tries to kill his children with an axe.
He wasn't a bad dad, though. He was actually a good dad, but he fucked. Well, actually, okay, no, he did break his son's arm before the whole hotel incident, so I guess maybe he wasn't the best dad in the world. But I mean, he was possessed by the Overlook, so I mean, you can't really blame him for what happens in that hotel.
Yeah, but it was his choice to go.
Because
So
he
that
wanted a
was
job to make
awesome.
money for his family. He was trying to make money for his son.
Okay, well, still on the same aspect. He tried to kill his children with an axe. So
I
It's trying.
agree.
That is why
Try to
he's on
kill your
there.
children. You know, like I said about Leland Palmer. You kill your kid, you get on the bad list. I don't care what happened.
Yeah.
okay, and my next one is Tywin Lannister.
Never watched Game of Thrones, so don't know shit about it.
Really?
Okay, so this you need to watch Game of Thrones. Oh my
You
god,
need-
the
You
need to
Herbius
watch the first-
guy,
You need to watch the first 5 seasons of
Yeah,
Game
the
of
last
Thrones,
one's
and then you
the
can.
Herbius guy, no, and you have not watched Game of Thrones.
Because, as they say on South Park, all it is dicks.
No, there's not. There is like lots of boobs. All over.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen all the screenshots of them. I'm good.
Okay, so this guy, he was such a bad father that his own son killed him while he was on the toilet.
What a way to go.
Yeah, 2 of his kids are incestuous. The twins are incestuous.
Mhm.
He hated his other kid because he was
A dwarf.
it's just all bad. That's a bad dad
It-
right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I heard, it's true.
Okay, my next one is Mr. Turner from
Yep,
Fairly
that's-
Odd
that's-
Parents.
That's a prime example of a bad dad.
This guy was
Sure.
horrible. Like he was always trying to like have arguments with the guy, his friend next door, and he never cared what Timmy did. He always left Timmy alone. Timmy basically raised himself with that horrible babysitter.
It's fairly godparents fucking raised them. That's who raised them.
Yeah. But he still was a bad parent.
I mean, that's where I put my trophy. If I had one.
Okay, this is Bart Bass from the Gossip Girls.
Yeah,
This-
you lost me. You lost me on that 100%. Gossip Girls, fuck that shit.
Okay, well, this guy was horrible. Like he would do horrible shit to his son, and then he married his son's girlfriend's mom just to get back at him, and he'd try to run him out of his own company. This guy made his son's life hell, but he never was there for him. Okay. And then I got Mr. Loud from the Loud House.
Never watched it.
This guy has like 11 kids, and in every episode they're all running all over the house. They're all doing crazy stuff, and he's nowhere, like he lets them just take over everything.
You've got a good seed.
Well, I mean, if you got 11 kids, you're kind of just fucked at that point, regardless.
There's a point to stop.
Just ask Nick Cannon.
That's like the Duggars. I went to my grandma, like they went to church with my grandma, and they used to take up like 3 pews. That was a bad dad right there. I know dirt behind that family. Okay, Stan Smith. This is one of the ones that we all agreed upon.
I didn't.
Well,
I
me
didn't.
and Mike did.
I don't think Stan Smith's that bad a father. I think he just
I think
If anything,
African American.
he's too overprotective if anything, but he's not a bad father. I mean,
He is to his daughter, if you think about it.
He's a hippie.
And he's always just no, he is to his daughter.
Yeah.
I don't think so. He's overprotective of her. That's all. I mean, he doesn't want her to turn into a freaking tree hugging hippie, which I can agree with that.
He is, but she also is with like the biggest loser ever. So he's trying to help her, but she just doesn't see it. So it's one of those like I think that happens a lot in today's world where it's like, I mean, I've got a daughter, and so when she gets older and she starts dating a guy that's like some kind of druggy kind of guy, it's like, oh, like starts liking to smoke. Like I don't have a problem too much with that, but if they don't have any kind of like focus or direction, I'm gonna be like, hey, the guy's a loser, just like he says. And I mean,
But I mean,
Okay,
yet he does get along with Jeff eventually, though. In the later seasons, he does start liking him.
Yeah, he does.
They go on adventures
okay,
together.
let's move on because Mr. Colby's got to leave here soon. We've got Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson.
Yeah,
Yeah, he chokes his children. He beats
They
Bart.
had to cut. They had to change the whole series and like removed it all from Hulu and everything. The later episodes of him choking Bart.
yeah, because America went soft. But I mean, it's just the fact. I mean, he's just not. He actually is a good father at the end of the day. Like the sign in his office that says "Do it for her" with pictures of Maggie all over it. Like he cares about his kids at least, and he wants to do right by them. He's just too stupid to do right by them. He's Peter. I mean, it's what they base Peter Griffin off of too. The same theory. Like he's just too
Our
stupid.
next one, Peter Griffith.
They're both just too stupid to be good dad where they want to be. Like they both want to be good dads, but they're both too stupid to be good dads. That's the intelligence.
I don't think Peter Griffin wants to be a good dad. I haven't watched a shit ton of Family Guy because not funny, but they outright hate Meg. Like
they make it very clear they hate Meg.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a barrel with her wig on it, and they think it's her with them the whole time at the pier when it's really she's sitting at home. Like it's classic. Yeah, shut up, Meg. And I mean, I think it's because of her potential. I think it's because of her potential that they all hate her. Because she's actually intelligent and she actually can have a future. But I mean, yeah, she's got some weird ass kinks and quirks to her, but she can have a future.
But in all honesty, who doesn't have weird kinks nowadays? To be
I don't know. I mean, I see Michael Colby's nipples, so I know I could say I have a weird kink too. But
pretty nice, right?
I was like, who the fuck is that? And she's like, Michael Colby. I'm like, oh God, the beard. I should have known the beard.
Okay, guys. Well, this is our Father's Day episode. We have given you like 40 horrible dads that we all think. So I'm just going to tell everyone Happy Father's Day from the Asylum with Harley and Joker. And Happy Father's Day to the fathers that's on this show, guys. Happy Father's Day.
Delphs unite.
Okay, well, have a nice evening, guys. Where did it go?